Are you ready, Dinali?
Yes, I am, Steve.
All right. Fantastic. How easy is it to modify or create a dashboard type? Is it possible without the intervention of a developer or a consultant?
I would say yes. It's quite easy to do the dashboards, and like we did the dashboard training in the user groups, on-site user groups. Well, it's quite easy. You only need a brief, hand holding, and then you'll be good on your own.
So yeah, absolutely. Generic inquiries are the foundation of sort of dashboards and the data that lives behind the tiles. Very easy to create generic inquiries once you've done a few. If you know how to use Excel formulas, you can probably find your way around a generic inquiry. So encourage you to do some training around that and you'll be creating your own dashboards in no time. All right. Does it cost anything to upgrade to the new UI and when is it available?
No, it does not. But once we get to the general availability phase in 2025 R2, I believe, and we'll be good to go. But like I mentioned in my presentation, you need some training guidance and some testing interface, like the sandbox, so you can test and fine tune and find the right balance.
That's great. So yeah, we're expecting 2025 R2 to be rolled out sometime in 2026. At the moment, it is essentially it's a hidden feature flag that needs to be enabled. MYOB will roll out an EAP or an early access program where they'll invite some end customers to be involved in the testing of that, and then we'll head towards GA or general availability. I'd say we'll see the 2025 R2 release happen independently of modern UI then being available for you to use. And of course, it's not an all-in. We can actually turn that on for certain users, for certain screens. You can switch between, so there's a lot of flexibility in that. So there's no cost in the UI itself. The only thing to be aware of course, is if you do have any customizations, if you've customized a existing screen, that customization may need to be ported over to the modern UI. So have a conversation with your partner. I'm sure they can help you through with some more details around that. All right, next question here, Dinali. What do you do when you reach the AP bills limit? For example, if we hit AP 999999.
Yeah, and it's very rarely that we hit this limit, but anyway, but once we've hit the limit, we can provision a new numbering sequence, and you can change the effective date. Let's say your numbering sequence is expired, like you ended up in the old one, for example, let's say yesterday. You can commission a new numbering sequence starting from today with a new numbering sequence that you like. So it'll continue that way.
Yep. So yeah, all of this is controlled by numbering sequences. Most people don't want a 37-digit number, so we typically tend to say a 6-digit number, but there's always that flexibility to change it down the track if business is going so well that you
Yeah,
need more than
can see 99.
999,999.
Yeah.
It'd be a good problem to have. All right, what is the recommended approach for setting up a monthly reporting template?
Well, that's a good question actually. So when we think about reporting template, so in Acumatica, in MYOB Acumatica, we have several ways of doing a report, but since it mentions reporting template, I believe this could be a report designer template. And so you can turn on report notifications, and that way you can set up a schedule to receive the reporting template monthly.
Yeah, and just to maybe add a little bit more color to that, there are a lot of ways to manage reporting within Acumatica. Of course, we could look towards focus that Sharon talked about earlier, particularly if you've got a board pack type requirements around sort of complexities around not only financial but operational reporting requirements. That's one way to do that. Of course, we've got Velixo, which is a very popular Excel-based reporting solution that integrates directly with MYOB Acumatica. provides a mechanism by which you can prepare your board packs in Excel, and does provide a mechanism to email those around as well. Reach out to your partner. Lots of ways to do this. It's just a matter of working out which is the most suitable for those specific requirements. A really good question here. Will we receive a recording of the presentation? Absolutely. We'll make sure that that is uploaded to YouTube, and you'll get a link distributed to you to review down the track. All right. What was the compliance tab in the bills and adjustments screen that we saw during your presentation, Dinali?
Yeah, so that is getting enabled as part of the construction edition. So, and that's why that tab is there. So, with the construction edition, of course, there's a lot of compliance around supply payments and all that. So that's why the tab is there.
Correct. So yeah, around subcontractors and those sorts of things. So yeah, it is a special feature as a part of the construction edition. If you have a need for that sort of compliance type features, reach out to your partner and they can have a conversation with you around the potential fit for that. All right. Is there a future plan to have a better audit trail that is easily visible for financial controllers?
Well, that's a common question that we come across from a lot of users. But we do create generic inquiries to make the audit trail a bit more user-friendly. And yeah, otherwise you can just click into the audit trail and, go into detail. But those are the two options we do have available for now. But I'm sure in future there will be a lot more easier ways of reporting this data.
So yeah, there is absolutely customizations you do around a custom GI for that. Often we actually see clients use business events, so they get alerts around specific audit events. So that's another way, but reach out to your partner, have a conversation. All right, for the modern UI, if we go through a subsequent upgrade, will these field changes or personalization be reset to the default or stay the way that we've set them?
Oh, that's again a very good question. Apart from the fact that they come as part of a customization, any UI changes that you add on to the user interface would not get disturbed as part of the upgrade because the new UI become part of the main system anyway. So, but if you do have a customized fields because they're not part of the core product, they could get disturbed during an upgrade. Yes.
All right, fantastic. Now, will all user types have the ability to make changes to dashboards and customize their screens?
So the dashboard designer role must be there if you are to customize a dashboard. But when it comes to working with new UI, you need the customizer and the administrator role to be able to modify the dashboards.
All right, another good question here. Can you please explain customizations and performance reporting?
Say that again, Steve. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to interpret this one myself. Can you please explain customizations and performance reporting?
Okay.
So I'm going to take it, this could either be one of two ways. It's either we're creating customizations and seeing negative impacts in terms of performance. And how do we understand that? Or the second way I could potentially take that is, can I implement customizations that provide details around the organization's performance? But I suspect it's the former. Let's just talk about
I think it's about the KPI performance side and whether they can use customizations for these. Well, I mean, with regard to the KPI, in like the reporting, you can utilize the dashboards and dashboard tiles and generic inquiries and visual exception reporting and things like that easily. And I don't think you will need heavy customizations for KPI reporting.
Now, if we haven't quite answered that question, perhaps you can reframe it with the Q&A again, and we could give it another try.
Yeah, exactly.
Another question here, is OCR finally released? Now, I might just jump in on that one very
Yeah, of
briefly.
course, I think you
So
could.
it's already in early access program, so it's been released for testing in 2025 R2. We have
R1.
clients that are, sorry,
R1.
R1, thank
Yeah.
you. We have clients that are already testing that and going through the process of review. So yes, it is available and coming soon. Now, there is a bit of a follow-up question to this of, is there any extra cost for the AI features? Now the question, so we've talked about those new features, those new AI features that are coming specifically in 2025 R1. Some of those features, for example, anomaly detection, great feature, terrible name, but let's not go on any further about that. Anomaly detection will be included as a part of the base product. But some of the features, and OCR or AP document recognition is one of those where it actually does rely upon additional services. So MYOB is currently looking at what the appropriate model is for managing some of these AI type features. If there's an external call that needs an AI or an LLM type API call, we expect that there will be some form of consumption type or token based charge for that. Still to be confirmed. Watch this space. All right, now, how would the AI in Acumatica interact with AI available in other add-ons? And then there's an example here of trailed. Now, this is a little bit of a complex one. Typically, we see lots of software companies embedding AI as a way of surfacing. So typically, where they're embedding large language models and a chat type interface within their environment as a way of surfacing information and being able to ask questions of that information. Typically, we don't see those conflicting. So trailed AI and trailed will be able to answer questions about trailed specific data. AI and Acumatica will be able to answer questions about Acumatica specific data. There are, however, certainly opportunities for these systems to work across each other. There is work being done on things like MCP or Model Context Protocol as a way of integrating systems with a large language model like OpenAI or ChatGPT, so that you can actually dig into data across multiple systems. So I think there will be an evolution of this. Within those solutions, such as Acumatica and Trailed, you will have some form of AI that you can surface. As soon as you want to look beyond systems, that's where we'll be looking at technologies such as MCP. It's all evolving very, very quickly. It might change tomorrow, so watch this space. All right, Dinali, another one for you here. Can AI reconcile bank feeds? In other words, match a customer payment with an invoice for like 200 transactions, some with the same amount?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. So I think with what we know so far with AI Studio, when the AI Studio comes along, probably we should be able to make use of the AI Studio to do these sort of tasks. But in addition to that, with reconciling 200 transactions, you can try to make use of existing bank rules for an automat if you have like a common denominator across all these 200 transactions you mentioned, it's for the same account. Or you can utilize processes like business events to get these reconciled.
Yeah, I think initially a lot of the AI features within Acumatica will be read-only, so they won't be creating transactions. We've seen, the issues with large language models being non-deterministic in that we do see things like hallucinations. The last thing you want is probably an AI hallucinating around bank reconciliation that could go very, very ugly very, very quickly. And I know how much Dinali loves clearing up bank reconciliation mistakes. So I think that might not be the initial priority. We really do need to make sure we have good guardrails in place. But there are certainly very simple things we can do, even just outside of AI, to simplify that bank feed process. So yeah, I think just have a conversation around that. There's lots of tricks to improve that process. All right, continuing on, it would be very helpful to see purchase order revision history. So when approvers are reviewing an approval workflow, they can see what they are actually approving. Dinali.
Yeah, I'm excited to say that I've worked on a similar request in the past, and so you can do create a generic inquiry, and you can see the multiple revisions of the same purchase order in a grid screen. I would suggest that you reach out to your partner to look into it. It's kind of same as the previous question regarding the audit history tracking. So once you enable the audit history, you can track through the multiple revisions of the PO in a generic inquiry.
So just expanding on that a little bit. So you can get the equivalent of purchase order revision history through the audit tracking features, and then in essence have a generic inquiry that just overlays that in an intelligent and logical manner. So you essentially see what changes have happened to purchase orders over time. I mean, you can essentially do that with any document in Acumatica. It just needs a little bit of configuration around audit tracking, and of course, some good GIs to surface the right data in the right way. So yeah, definitely possible. And I wouldn't be surprised if some more features come soon, but it's kind of already there. We just need to surface the right information. Fantastic. Thank you, Dinali. All right. How can we be involved in testing prior to rollout if we are an organisation wanting to be involved? That's a really good question. MYOB does have these early access programs available from time to time around AI, around the modern UI, around all sorts of new features and functionality that's coming out within the solution. Reach out to your partner, put your hand up, come along to a user group, meet some of the MYOB product managers. There's nothing like building relationships and having conversations flesh to flesh, so to speak, as a way of just getting involved. That would be my sort of first suggestion. All right, Dinali, transaction matching or clearing in the general ledger for account reconciliations, manual accrual accounts, etc., to make maintaining accounts easier. Did you get that one?
I just feel I really don't 100% understand it, but I feel they're talking about GL anomaly detection. So which is another feature that would be rolled out. I think it's coming in 25 R1.
Either anomaly detection or potentially a reconciliation feature for other balance sheet accounts. If there's any more context on that, please just add it to the Q&A. Not sure that I've quite got that one yet. All right, where can I access the template reports?
Right, so I think feel that maybe it's a follow-up question from the previous one. So when you go into that particular report in the report designer, like the form report, there will be an area where you can save it as a template. And then with that, there would be a send report action. So you can attach the template to email it on a schedule. That's one way of doing it, obviously. But yeah, that's where I would go.
All right, fantastic. Next one, is it troublesome to not run bill validation before sending the bill for approval? We often have approvals done, and then when we try to release a bill, a validation error occurs.
Yeah, that's a strange one for me. So we can, if you have some preset rules around bill validations, we can, make use of available features like business event generic inquiries or visual exceptional reporting to identify if a bill is valid or not. And then once it's validated, then we can send it for approval. And even in the approval maps, if certain criteria is not met, we can set the bill to be rejected automatically. and skip going through the approval process. So those are the different ways you can attend to it.
It sounds like there's some opportunities to potentially improve the configuration there so that the validation happens before the approval process. Reach out to your partner, see if they can assist you with that. All right. Got one here. We'll be using the payroll component of Acumatica. Will MYOB be looking at AI integration for award and EA interpretation? So just to expand upon that, MYOB has a solution called Workforce Management for Acumatica. Workforce Management basically provides that award interpretation type feature. So it provides a mechanism by which you can capture hours, you can do rostering, you can do time capture, and at the end of that process, it will do interpretation of awards and then submit the interpreted time into MYOB Acumatica payroll, ready for payroll processing. So there's already a comprehensive approach for award or EBA interpretation. It is really worth exploring if that's an area of pain for you. I know a lot of organisations have significant work around award interpretation processes, lots of manual Excel spreadsheets. There's always got to be a better way to do it. All right. Okay. When can we start using EasyCollect? EasyCollect's a solution that's available. There's quite a number of Acumatica clients, including GoTransit, who we previewed previously. Reach out to your business partner, have a conversation with them, or reach out to EasyCollect directly, and they can guide you through that process. Next question here. In the app, there doesn't seem to be the ability to view the account or sub-account an invoice or PO has been coded to, which makes the approval process difficult, and you need to be in the web version and not the mobile app. All right, so there's a question. So in essence, I think there's questions about the mobile app, Dinali.
Yeah.
When we go to do an approval, we can't see the account or sub-account it's been coded to.
Well, usually you could, because when we enter the details, they go hiding inside the tabs. And but having said that, we know we've acknowledged the current mobile app. It's not the best version. And with the new UI rollout, and we are getting a better version for the mobile screen. So I think that probably would help.
Yeah, sometimes you may find that some of that details in a separate tab that you need to explode out to see the detail. Just to explore a little bit further, but as Dinali said, there will be a new version of the mobile app coming out as a part of the modern UI. All right. Can customer email inquiries be automatically loaded into a case? If a case already exists, can the system append the new correspondence to that case and send an alert?
Yes, I would say, of course, and we make use of similar features in-house. And so you need to make use of the incoming mail processing side of the system and create a default case class. So all your new cases will be created under that case class when a new email comes.
Yes, absolutely. That functionality is available. It does require a little bit of setup in terms of your mailboxes and your modern authentication, all of those sorts of things.
Yeah.
But once you've done that configuration, you can absolutely have cases being created, and you can have people have staff internally replying to cases and have those cases those replies being sent out automatically. All right. To clarify the account clearing reconciliation question, you are correct. It's the ability to reconcile and clear GL entries in a manual accrual account, not a subledger or module like expense accruals, as an example.
Right. Okay. I think then in that case, we can do a new generic inquiry for the accrual GL account, as well as to look at what entries have gone in, and then help make use of business event features to work like a reconciliation screen.
Okay. There you go. You heard it here first. Have a conversation with your business partner, or reach out and we can give you some more details around how to potentially manage that process. We've just got two more. Oh, one more here. What AI are you using? Well, believe it or not, Denali and myself are both real in the flesh people. We're not AI, although sometimes Denali, her quality of responses could almost be. But no AI going on over here. In terms of what AI services and facilities we use, we've seen really lots of value in exploring and experimenting with AI. So, as a part of, as an organization, Kilimanjaro does actually use Microsoft. So Copilot does provide a whole lot of features, but across Copilot, OpenAI's ChatGPT, Anthropic's Claude, Google's Gemini, there's lots of features, there's lots of things to try and test and see how they can potentially work and support within your organization. It's a very, very exciting time. Anything to add, Dinali, from your perspective?
No, I think that's right. I think we are in an evolving AI situation, and we cannot really stick to, okay, let's use this. But you're right, we be using mixture of different tools or try and experimenting, and yeah, it's still open-ended question, I would say.